I just had the chance to go to the Royal Alexandra Hospital in Edmonton, Alberta. I know they had Sunrays there, and I had a chance to speak to them about how they're using Sunrays.
I'm Mike Donoff, and I'm a family physician. I'm a professor in the Department of Family Medicine here at the University of Alberta. I'm the director of the Royal Alec Family Medicine Centre, where we're sitting right now. We have a product here that we've been using for about 6 weeks called the Sunray from Sun Microsystems, and feel it's made a significant difference to us in our workflow during the day. We have been a clinic that teaches about 30 residents in family medicine for many years, and several years ago we took on the challenge of trying to implement up-to-date technology so that we could role model some of the environments that family physicians should be familiar with in working in the future. And we've been quite successful in many of our projects. We use an EMR called MedAccess that we're very happy with. But we have had some challenges in our workflow, and one of them has been the frequency with which physicians are expected to log in to the system. And we move quite a bit between our office and different examining rooms. There are 9 doctors in this clinic, and we share examining rooms. So during a day I don't have a dedicated examining room that I assigned. So we move back and forth sharing the same machines, which means we have to log out and log back in. Now that we have this concept called roaming sessions, which basically means we have a card that when I move from room to room, the session opens wherever I left off, it makes it worthwhile for me to log on to the various products that I use. And the other thing that we're going to start seeing, I think a little more with the residents in the future, but with the staff physicians it's already begun, is it's now worthwhile for me to truly save my favorite resources, my patient information sheets, onto my desktop, because that desktop will be with me wherever I go. In the past I may have had favorites, but they'd only be on the machine in my office as opposed to in the examining room where I'm actually seeing the patient. We're part of a program to improve primary care here in Alberta called Access Improvement, and that basically is about see your own patients and don't keep them waiting, but it involves a lot of measurement. One of the measurements is called cycle time, which is the time from when the patient comes in the office to the time they leave. And there are different components of that, like waiting in the waiting room, waiting in the examining room, and then of course the valuable time, which we call the red zone, is the time with the doctor and the patient, or a nurse and a patient. And we've measured our cycle time in the past, and there is a significant amount of time where the patient is waiting while we're discussing the prescriptions and the logging in, getting into the room and getting out and coming back and logging back into another computer. So we are going to be remeasuring our cycle times now that we've implemented the roaming session, and we anticipate there will be some measurable improvements. What happens though is we like to look at this before we go in to see the patient. And so when I have this up and my resident and myself are talking about a patient, we can look at this, but as we pull the card out, it automatically logs us out. When we walk in to the patient's room, we'll be right back on this sheet. So it creates an environment where there can be continuity of our discussion of what we were anticipating would be the important points in terms of prevention. The other thing I might say is, because it is so seamless, in family medicine it's important that we don't drive the agenda. I mean, the patient came in usually for another reason. So it makes it quite relaxed for me to listen to the patient, deal with their problems, and then if I want to deal with the preventive, it's all waiting for me to do. That would be equally true if a nurse were doing this, and this is what we like, is that with any member of the team, the card system allows them to look at the chart before they go into the patient, go into the room, and then they're right in the same part of the chart. And if the nurse wanted to discuss with the physician any details, when they pull their card out, they can come to my own machine here and put their card in, and the chart will open right where the nurse left off. Okay, just coming into the examining room, what normally we try to teach our residents is you don't pay attention to the computer first, you're dealing with the patient. I must say that whatever time I take with a patient and their family, at some point, and it can be different from one patient to the next, there comes a time where it seems natural to, in the discussion, to look at something on the computer. The advantage of this is that that one password has now got me back on my session, so everything else that I've opened in the past is still here. And where we're at on the screen is exactly halfway through the prescription that I was writing in the other room.
My name is Brandon Reed. I'm one of the family medicine residents. I'm first year at the Royal Alex Hospital, the Family Medicine Center. I'm recently out of medical school, probably 9 months. The big emphasis for me would be, in a way, speed and that continuity of care that Dr. Donoff was talking about. Like, I'm able to continue from when we left off talking to Dr. Donoff about a patient and go directly to the room and bring up exactly what we were discussing on the chart. So not only that continuity, but also the speed probably saves me a minute to 2 minutes of logging in, logging out type of thing, I would say, per patient. So,
I mean, the biggest thing for us is workflow. And I will say an extra word about that because I teach. And one of my areas of interest is competency in clinical reasoning. And I can tell you that the more we're distracted, the less we focus on teaching the patient-centered approach and the clinical reasoning. So I like elegant workflow. So that's why that comes up over and over.
Speaking of workflow, there's Dr. Donoff putting in his smart card, and hey, how long did that take for his Windows session to boot up? I want to thank Dr. Reed. I want to thank Dr. Donoff for coming in early to do this video with us. I thank you for tuning in. If you've got thoughts, send them along to mapledesk@sun.com. Talk to you next time.